Shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Yahweh Kachodash, Yahweh, which is the one and true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one and true name is Yahweh Shai. I would like to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, because those are the men who I've learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the servants of Yahweh Yahweh Shai Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada. And pretty much this lesson is going to be titled as Foreign Israelites. Alright, the speckled birds. And I uploaded a video last night, titled Bruce Lee was an Israelite. Because you got Israelites out there, they look like heathen nations, but they sea line goes back to a so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. Alright, you had Israelite men that popped heathen women and had kids with them. Alright, so you got a lot of these jakes that's outside of Great Millstone. They teach that Israelites are only Negro descent, or they teach that your mom and dad have to be an Israelite for you to be a full-blooded Israelite, which is totally going off. Alright, because I'll give some examples right now to them guys that teach that your mom and dad both have to be Israelites for you to be an Israelite. What about Father Abraham? Father Abraham had a kid with an Egyptian woman named Hagar and had Ishmael. Alright, and when you go down the line, alright, you had Moses. Alright, Moses' wife wasn't an Israelite. Alright, Moses' wife was a Cushite, and she bared Moses who? Gershom. When you look at King Solomon, he had King Solomon had a kid with an Ammonite. All right, and I think his name was Rehoboam. All right, so there's tons of prophets we can use. Joseph, all right, the son of Jacob. All right, he had kids with an Egyptian and had Ephraim and Manasseh. So all through the Bible, you had Israelites men that slept with heathen women and had kids with them. So you mean to tell me that they kids are not Israelites? Which is totally going off. Because according to Numbers 1 and 18, which I'm going to get out in a minute, it goes into that. Your nationality is determined by the seed line of your father. Alright? That's the only way to be determined what your nationality is. It's through the seed line of your father. And Salakia for the rambling, but we're just going to do a quick hitter. And I'm going to use one person as an example, who is one of those foreigner Israelites. An Israelite, a Jake that don't look like an Israelite. Alright? But he's an Israelite. That's why you can't judge on outward appearance. This is 1 Samuel 16 and 7. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. It says, But the Lord saith unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance or the height of his stature. Right? Don't look at a person and say, oh, you're a heathen, or oh, you don't have melanin in you, so you're a heathen. All right, don't look on the height of the statue of an individual. Don't look at their skin color, the eye color, the hair color. There's jakes out there that got freckles. You got Israelites out there that got blonde hair and blue eyes. All right, you can't judge on the outward appearance. That's why we got to try the spirits. Because when you go to Jeremiah 17:4, the Lord discontinued us from our heritage. So we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You got Israelites out there that look like an Arab even, but they an Israelite, going back to their father, who is a so-called Negro, Hispanic, or Native American Indian descent. So you can't go off of the outward appearance. All right, and you got these other Israelite groups out there that's teaching that Israelites only Negro descent. You're going off. All right. It says, because I have refused him, for the Lord seeth not as men seeth, for men looketh on the outward appearance. And that's what you see with these other groups. You got these groups out here teaching, go to the Zionists and get your shot, your blood test, so you can get your E1, B1A madness. Then you got Jakes out there teaching that your mom and dad both have to be Israelites for you to be a full-blooded Israelite, going off. And you got Jakes out there teaching that Israelites are only Negro descent, which is totally going off. Because you got Israelites in my family. I got a cousin. I got a cousin, and his woman is an Edomite, but he's an Israelite. All right, and his kids they have olive toned skin, and they got blonde hair. All right, so you got Israelites out there that had kids with heathen women, that popped heathen women and had kids with them, and it's going on right now. That doesn't mean that that child is not an Israelite. The child is determined by the seed line of their father. All right. It says, "For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for men looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart." Right, the spirit. All right, the Lord looketh on the spirit. So you're not supposed to judge on the outward appearance because somebody doesn't look like an Israelite. You got to try their spirit because they could be an Israelite. We don't know. That's why you gotta go by the spirit, like the Lord commands us to do so. Second Second Corinthians 10:7. It says, "Do ye look on things after the outward appearance?" See, so you're not supposed to do that. It says, "If any man trusteth to himself that he is Yahweh's, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Yahweh's, even so are we Yahweh's." Right. So you can't judge a particular individual on the color of their skin, their height, their eye color. That's why even for us, servants of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai camp, when we go out to camp, we ask people what are their nationality, just like Great Millstone does. They ask them what's their nationality. Now, if they give you something way out, they say, they're European. We don't automatically say they're an Edomite because you got Israelites that's dwelling in Europe. All right, you got Israelites dwelling in Africa. We don't call them a heathen because you got Israelites that's dwelling on the southern west coast of Africa and Africa in general. You got Israelites in China. You got Israelites in Japan. You got Israelites in Asia. You got Israelites in Turkish, empire. You got Israelites scattered everywhere. Rome. So we don't judge off of the outward appearance because they could be an Israelite. They could be an Israelite. All right. So we don't judge on the outward appearance. All right. And if you're a Jake that's doing that, you're going to be destroyed because you're judging on the outward appearance, and you got to go by the Spirit. All right. This is Romans 8:16. It says, "The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit." That's why when we go to camp, we don't just look at the outward appearance. The elders and apostles of Great Millstone always told us not to judge on the outward appearance because you don't know who's an Israelite, who isn't. All right. So you gotta go by the Spirit. We discontinue from our heritage, so we can't point out who's an Israelite and who isn't, like these other Israelite groups do. Oh, you're a heathen because you don't look like Israel. You got blonde hair, blue eyes. How you don't know that his dad can be black? I mean, not black, but a so-called Negro man. I have friends. I had a friend named I forgot his damn name. It was in high school. I think his name was Alfredo or Alberto. All right. His daddy was Hispanic and his mama was white, so he had more features like his mom than he did his dad. All right. So when you would look at him, you think he's a white boy. He had blonde hair, blue eyes, all that. But he spoke fluent Spanish and he spoke English. So when we see his parents come to come to his games and stuff, we would look at each other like, holy shit, his dad is Hispanic and his mom is white. But he's in Issachar because his daddy is a so-called Hispanic, which is the tribe of Issachar. So he was an Issacharite. He just looked like a heathen because of his mom. So you can't judge off of that. That's why I say you can't judge off the outward appearance because you got Israelites that look like heathens, but they not heathens. They Israelites. All right, through the seed line of a so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. You can't judge off the outward appearance. All right, because for myself, I use myself as an example. My parents are not the same nationality. All right, my daddy is a Native American Indian. He's Omaha Punka. All right, and my mom, she's not even from the U.S. My mom is a foreigner. She's from Liberia, Africa, but through the Spirit, she calls on Yahweh Shema Shai. She does. She knows the name of the Lord. She calls upon the name of the Lord. And my mom, she could be an Israelite. Could be Gad, could be Judah. Don't know. But my mom is a foreigner. She's from Liberia, Africa. So my parents are not the same nationality. All right, my parents are two different nationalities. All right. So I'm using myself as an example, because my daddy's a Native American Indian, and my mom, she's like so-called Liberian African. But I don't, through the spirit, I don't think she's a Hamite. All right, because she calls upon the name of the Lord. She reads the Bible. I got a parent that's in the truth. Now my dad, he's not in the truth. All right, my dad, he's in the Nation of Islam. He's in that Muslim doctrine. But at the same time, my dad's a Native American Indian though. He's just in the wrong custom, you know. So you got Israelites out there again that look like heathens, and you can't judge on the outward appearance. All right, and that's how I use myself as an example. My parents are two different nationalities. My mother is Liberian African, and my dad is a Native American Indian. He's Omaha Punka. We're from the Punka tribe of Oklahoma. All right. So at the end of the day, you can't judge on the outward appearance. Romans 8:16. It says the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Lord, right? So you got to go by the Spirit. You can't go out of outward appearance, all right? Because if you look judging on the outward appearance, that make you carnal, all right? You can't be using carnality in its truth. You got to be spiritual, all right? That's why we go by the Spirit to try particular individuals to see if the Spirit's gonna be working with them or not, all right? And the majority of the time, it don't. All right, but like the elders say, we're fishing for the elect. Not every single Hebrew Israelite is going to get it. All right, so you can't judge on the outward appearance. All right, you can't be doing that. And Salakia, this is Jeremiah. Except this is Jeremiah 17:4. It says, "And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger which shall burn forever." Right? The Lord discontinued us from our heritage. So we're scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. All right? The Lord discontinued us from our heritage. Let me get out Deuteronomy, because I want to prove this out. Deuteronomy 28:68. This is Deuteronomy 28:68. Oh, not 68, 64. Salakia. Deuteronomy 28:64. It says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people." Who the Lord scattered among all people? The Israelites. The 12 tribes of the nation of Israel are scattered abroad in the hands of these 17 heathen nations. But the Lord, Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, he's coming back to deliver the elect out of the hands of these 17 heathen nations. All right, the elect is going to be scattered abroad through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, which is going into Revelation 7:9, that great multitude, man. All right, it says from one end of the earth even onto the other. So the Israelites are scattered abroad from one end of the earth even onto the other. That's why we can't judge off the outward appearance, because the Israelites are scattered everywhere. You got Israel, you got Gadites, which are so-called Native American Indians in Africa. And the Apostle Tahar did a lesson on that years ago. So you can't judge on the outward appearance. It says, "In there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." So you got Israelites that scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So you can't judge on the outward appearance. All right, and we're gonna go to the New Testament, and we'll get out. Where's James at? James, 1:1. It says, "James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting." Right. So the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel are scattered from one end of the earth even onto the other. The Israelites are scattered. So you can't judge on the outward appearance. Now I'm going to give you an example of a particular individual. Now this is Blake Griffin. Now if you look at Blake Griffin, to the right is his dad, and to the left is his mom. Blake Griffin is an Israelite. Now if you look at Blake Griffin, he doesn't look like an Israelite, but he's an Israelite. All right. When you look at Blake Griffin, you don't think he's an Israelite, but he's an Israelite. His daddy's a Haitian. So according to the Bible, he's of the tribe of Levi. So this is why you can't judge on the outward appearance. Now when you go to Blake Griffin, see, when you go look at Blake Griffin and you look to the left, that's his dad. You look to the right, that's his mom. So when you look at Blake Griffin, you wouldn't think he's an Israelite. but he's an Israelite due to the seed line of his father, which I'm gonna get out right now, because your nationality is determined by the seed line of your father. That's how you determine your nationality. Not no shots, getting blood test draws, going to ancestry.com. That's all Zionists own. That's owned by the elites. So they're gonna tell you that you all these different nationalities. They're not gonna give you the truth. They're gonna bug your ass out, telling you mix with all these different nationalities, and that's not true. You are what your father is. All right. I'm gonna go back to that in a minute. Go to Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. All right. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees. It says, after their families, by the houses of their fathers. And when you ever have a chance, you could just look it up. And pedigrees mean, when you go to Numbers 1 and 18, it says, and they assemble all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. So your nationality is determined by the seed line of your father, not your mother. All right. Your nationality is determined by the seed line of your father. So it doesn't matter what your mom look like. Your mom could be a so-called white person. She can be an Asian person, a Chinese person, a black person, Chinese, so-called Negro person, a Hispanic, Native American. Don't matter. Whatever your nationality, your mom, she can be Belizean. She can be any so-called ethnicity of race out there. If your father's a so-called Negro, Hispanic, or Native American Indian, and he pops any one of those women that I just named, you're still an Israelite because of your father. It don't matter what your mom is. All right? Because the man's sperm is what fertilizes a woman's egg. And that's what determines the nationality of that particular individual. Whoever your father is, that's what you are according to the Bible. My daddy's a Native American Indian. He's Omaha Punka, so I'm Native American. There is no half so-called African, half Native. There ain't no such thing as that. If my daddy's a Native American Indian, I'm a Native American Indian, a Gadite. That's what you guys got to say, a Gadite, according to the scriptures. I'm a Gadite because my daddy is a Gadite, which is titled as a so-called Native American Indian. So that's what I am according to the scriptures. I'm not half Native, half African. That's Esau way. That's philosophy. All right. So you can't judge on the outward appearance. All right. And I was gonna show you another particular individual, and we're gonna put in Blake Griffin's son. All right, because Blake Griffin's son look whiter than Eminem. All right, but his son is an Israelite. All right. So when you look at Blake Griffin's son, look at Blake Griffin's son. All right. This is Blake Griffin's son right here. I'll show you. I'm gonna get him a picture of him as a baby. See, here's Blake Griffin's son right here. You see that? This is Blake Griffin's son. His son don't look like an Israelite, don't he? His son got blonde hair and blue eyes. But that don't mean that his son is not an Israelite. His son is an Israelite. Because you just seen a picture of his dad. His dad is a Haitian. Blake Griffin is a Haitian, and his son is a Haitian. So you can't judge on the outward appearance. Now, if you seen him, you think his son is an Edomite, but his son is not an Edomite. His son look whiter than Eminem. His son got blonde hair. Does that mean his son's not an Israelite? No, he's an Israelite because his daddy's an Israelite. All right, the seed line goes all the way back to the man. Goes back to the man. All right. So Blake Griffin is an Israelite, and his daddy's an Israelite. His son is an Israelite. See? Look at Blake Griffin's son. He got blonde hair. You mean to tell me that his son is not an Israelite? That's why you other guys out there, y'all can't judge off the outward appearance saying who's an Israelite and who isn't. You got to go by the spirit, because you got Israelites out here that look like Blake Griffin's son, but they seed line goes back to the dad, goes back to the father. See, he's Blake Griffin's son. Boom, that's Blake Griffin's son. Who's his dad? Blake Griffin. And then when you go to Blake Griffin's dad, which I'm gonna put in right now, you go to Blake Griffin's father. Boom, this is his father. So Blake Griffin's son, the one you see with blonde hair, blue eyes, goes back to Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin goes back to this man right here. There you go. It goes back to the seed line of their father, which is a so-called Haitian. All right, because Blake Griffin daddy is a Haitian. All right, so Blake Griffin is an Israelite. That's why you can't judge on the outward appearance. So hey, man, I'm in it there with that, man. I proved in the scriptures, you can't judge on the outward appearance. All right, you can't do that, man. You got to go by the spirit. All right, you can't judge on the outward appearance, man. All right, I'm gonna read that one more time too, Baba Shah. This is Romans 8:16. I'm gonna get this out one more time, because you can't judge off the outward appearance. And if you a Jake that's doing that, you don't have the spirit of the Lord in you. All right, Lord ain't dealing with you. Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. Right, so you can't judge on the outward appearance. All right, you got to go by the spirit, because the Israelites, we discontinue from our heritage and we're scattered abroad. You got Israelites out there that look like heathens, but they not, because their father goes back to a so-called Negro Hispanic named American. I gave you a perfect example with Blake Griffin. So hey, man, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Yahweh Kachodash, and Yahweh, which is the one and true name of Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. And shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in true sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Razakah from the servants of Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada. And Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Till the next time I say, shalom.